Well, Texas is not like the North, where they see snow and ice for months. We see it for a few days each year, maybe a week. That means we're not used to dealing with the extreme cold. So we're going to spend some time getting you ready for our winter blast. And we start with one of the biggest hazards, our roads. While it's best not to get out on icy roads, if you have to, Rebecca Lopez has some tips on how to best handle it.
You like to reduce your speed by about a third of what the speed limit is.
Corporal Derek Sheriff is a driving instructor for Arlington Police and used to be a truck driver. So he knows what to do if you find yourself on a slick road and your car starts to skid.
First thing is let off the accelerator, and then if you start skidding, steer in the direction of the skid.
Whatever you do, don't slam on your brakes and spin your steering wheel.
You'll end up spinning out and doing donuts, could roll your vehicle.
And he says don't drive too close to other vehicles.
The normal distance on spacing, we say the 2 car lengths, 2 seconds, double that, 4 car lengths.
If you cause an accident because you're driving recklessly, you could get a ticket, even on ice.
Driving too fast in unsafe conditions.
If you do have a wreck, it could take time for you to get help.
If you get in an accident, the first responders, fire, EMS, tow trucks, everybody's going to be super busy, and we may not be able to get to you for an hour or two.
Police say if you can, just stay off the roads and avoid the whole mess. In Arlington, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
And you still have time to prepare around your house too. Always remember the 4 P's: pipes, plants, pets, and of course, people. Cover up your plants and pipes that are outside and check on the people around you and of course, your pets. And to prepare your house, our Kevin Reese talked to Milestone Electric to get some tips. To be honest, yeah, it sounds like a lot of common knowledge, but these are things, again, North Texans don't usually have to think about. So here are some good reminders.
The massive number of busted water pipes from the big winter storm in 2021 was just one of the many problems we had. And the weather coming this weekend makes all that misery possible again.
It was long days trying to help as many people as we could.
And with those memories still fresh, plumbers like Jesse Crane from Milestone are bracing for a potential repeat. As we approach freezing temps, he reminds you to consider a slow drip of faucets if the pipes are on an outside wall. Open cabinet doors for those pipes too so that heat from the house can reach them. Remove outdoor garden hoses and cover hose bibs to give them added protection. And know where your water shutoff valve is if your home does spring a leak. And be thankful that DFW plumbers are watching the weather forecast too.
Ever since 2021, you betcha, man. That was a crazy time, and so anytime it gets below freezing at Milestone, we go to an all hands on deck, at least for the plumbers, to make sure that we can take care of the communities around us.
Carbon monoxide cases are common in the cold months as well. Additional common sense advice on generators, CO detectors, and more coming up at 6 o'clock. In Dallas, I'm Kevin Reese.
Now, if you do have a burst pipe, there's one very important and usually forgotten item you need to have around your house. Here's Cynthia Izaguirre.
Extreme cold can also hurt your pipes. Remember the aftermath from the 2021 deep freeze? One big lesson we learned is that you should own something called a Jones-Stevens key. It's used to open the locked cover that houses your water meter outside, and from there, you can shut off your water at the main, which you should do if your pipes have frozen, because frozen pipes crack, and this is what happens when they thaw.
It's not just the indoor plumbing that needs attention. Lots of people have pools, and those need a bit of attention before we hit that extreme cold.
I would recommend obviously putting the freeze guard system, if you have that on it, just turn it to on and let your pool pumps run.
The water will freeze if the pump is not turned on. While it may raise your bill a little to run that water, it's better than fixing major damage to your pool. And from sleet to snow to ice, there can be quite a mix of winter weather. Meteorologist Colin Myers looks at how the different types of precipitation form.
One of the more difficult parts of forecasting winter weather is what type of precip will fall. This is what makes it unique. One of the first ones is freezing rain, and it typically is one of the more concerning ones because of the threat to infrastructure, roads, power lines. Normal rain falls as liquid, then freezes on contact with roads, with bridges, trees, etc. because of temperatures falling below freezing. Now, typically you have to go a little further below freezing, maybe 28, 29. But some spots like bridges, 32 is sufficient. Then you get sleet or ice pellets formed forms as snow and melt into rain, okay, but then refreezes while falling in the lowest part of the atmosphere. So it's all about your vertical temperature profile. And then finally, everyone's favorite, snow. They're frozen six-sided crystals, every one unique, as you know, and snow starts in the clouds and then lasts all the way to the ground. Here's an idea of what that looks like. So as you go forward, any time we have winter weather, snow is going through a straight cold profile. You can know this, and you can remember, if we're cold all the way vertically, typically you'll get snow. Sleet starts in a warmer environment and then freezes down. And then as we go towards the air above freezing, especially vertically, freezing rain, right? Freezing near the ground or on contact, and then rain falls in an all warm environment. So this is something we'll be watching as we go forward anytime there's winter weather.
Well, from pipes to plants and pets, there's a whole lot more you can do right now to get ready for this weekend.